Hi everyone, I'm Josemary on behalf of GenScript, and today we are interviewing iGEM team iCircle. So iCircle, can you please tell us more about yourselves and your team's project?
Yes. So we have two team leaders. None of them are here at this point, but then I think we have enough number of members to kind of give a holistic idea of what we intend to do in the project. I am Adrija. I do the biomodeling, and I would ask the respective members to please introduce themselves and what they do.
I am Shomi Bhattacharya. I am in the biomodeling team and also in the human practices team.
Hello, I am Shreyash Borkar. I am doing biomodeling for the project.
Hello everyone, I'm Udit Ghosh. I am in biomodeling team as well as the human practices team.
Hello everyone, I am Shaurin Chatterjee. I am in the math modeling team.
Yes, and our team is almost 13 strong. So there are a few more members. They make up like the math modeling team, the bio team, and the human practices team. And we have a couple of members who keep on like shuttling between the teams. So yeah, it's a very neat family that we have. So I'd request Shomi to please go ahead and present our project. She has made a very nice presentation for all of us to see.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So we are 2021 iGEM team of ISA Kolkata, and this year we have picked up the project named Namuste, where we will be tackling subclinical bovine mastitis using synthetic biology techniques. How we met bovine mastitis is actually quite a story. One of our team members had a conversation with her milkman when he was absent for his on his duty for almost 1 month, and then suddenly turned up and asked for monetary support. So when she inquired about the reason, she got to know that his cows were suffering from a certain disease, and one of them had already died. They were showing abnormal symptoms, like they were producing very less amount of milk, and the others were swollen and became red. So, and also the milkman did not have any access to any proper medication and treatment procedures because they were living in a rural area. Our team member then came back and started Googling about the problem, and then she got to know that the cows might be suffering from a disease named bovine mastitis. And we finally started discussing this problem in our team meetings, and decided to take this up as our writing project and find out a solution using synthetic biology techniques. So let us understand what bovine mastitis disease is first. Bovine mastitis disease is the persistent inflammatory reaction of the udder tissue of mammary glands due to infections caused by different pathogens. And the pathogens enter the tissue through the teats of the udder and multiply and attack the host immune system, causing inflammation. Now, the dairy industries all over the world faces a huge economic losses due to subclinical bovine mastitis. India produced 199.6 million metric tons of milk and consumed 77.7 million metric tons of milk in 2019 itself, making it the largest producer as well as the consumer of milk. Milk is one of the prime contributors to the Indian economy, having the highest value in the Indian agriculture as well as food sector. However, in the country which produces the largest amount of milk, the milk safety standards as well as the health of the dairy cows remains highly unchecked. So in India, economic loss due to mastitis has been calculated to be around INR 6,053.21 crore per annum. And around 70 to 80% of loss happens due to subclinical bovine mastitis. Around 2.58 liter less milk is produced each day by mastitis affected cow, causing loss of around INR 2,322 to 7,824 per cow a month, which is a huge amount in India. And annual losses in the dairy industry due to mastitis happens around INR 2.37 thousand crore. So it is understandable that subclinical bovine mastitis is a long-standing problem in our dairy industry that needs to be checked for the sake of the better quality of milk production ensuring better health of the cows and reducing the economic losses in the dairy industry, and also ensuring the better health of the people ingesting milk. There are actually 4 stages of bovine mastitis, starting from healthy to subclinical mastitis to clinical mastitis, and finally recurrent clinical mastitis. The cows suffering from clinical bovine mastitis have symptoms like redness in the udder, heat and hardness in the udder, and they have swelling in the udder and redness and pain. And the milk produced by these diseased cows also deteriorates significantly with flakes, clots and pus, and have a watery appearance. But once the infection is spread to the clinical mastitis stage, it is largely difficult to treat the cow. Now, in the subclinical stage, bovine mastitis is largely undetected under the naked eye, and there are no tangible changes in the milk quality. The subclinical bovine mastitis then spreads from one cow to another, mainly through the hands of the milker or the milking apparatus. So, timely detection of mastitis is very important to prevent the disease from spreading to many different cows and also from the cows to developing into serious stages of mastitis. Hence, we have decided to strike this problem at the grassroots level. As we have mentioned previously also, subclinical bovine mastitis is a global problem, and the maximum losses in the dairy industry happens due to this disease all over the world. And there are several pathogens causing mastitis, which varies over locations and also stages of mastitis. If we focus particularly upon Asia, it has been found out through literature study that Staphylococcus aureus, Streptococcus eubaris, Corynebacterium species and Klebsiella species are the main causative organisms of this disease. And particularly in India, Staphylococcus aureus has been majorly isolated, around 71%, from the mastitis positive milk samples, followed by other pathogens like S. eubaris, E. coli, certain specific strains of E. coli. And S. aureus is responsible mainly for the acute subclinical type of mastitis, and S. eubaris is majorly responsible for the rapid transmission of the disease to many cows. There is one more very serious problem with respect to the pathogens causing this disease, which we surely need to tackle. Around 2,730 tons of antibiotics are used in the dairy sector. And this leads to profound antibiotic resistance, not just in the microbes that cause diseases in the cow, but also to the people who are ingesting this milk. These antibiotic resistant pathogens may get transmitted to the humans consuming the raw milk or improperly pasteurized milk. And this will create an imbalance in the human gut flora and microbiome. And since these pathogens are evolving to become antibiotic resistant superbugs, they can even result in epidemics or pandemics if they remain largely unchecked for a long amount of time. The Staphylococcus aureus strains, which are the major causative organisms of this disease, have also been found to become increasingly antibiotic resistant. So it is very essential to develop a non-antibiotic method of targeting and killing the S. aureus bacteria to combat subclinical bovine mastitis. Hence, here we are with our solution of detecting the subclinical bovine mastitis and further treating it with the synthetic biology techniques. We plan to detect the disease using a home-based economical subclinical mastitis detection kit that will detect the disease from the samples of the milk collected from the cows. And we will use certain mRNA detection techniques to detect the mRNA level in the milk samples, as they are the potential biomarkers in this case. And we can then obtain a signal regarding the concentration of the mRNA in the sample, and then we can use certain colorimetric detection techniques to detect any visible change of color in the sample to understand whether the sample contains the mRNA or not, and further label it as subclinical bovine mastitis positive or negative respectively. And after detecting the disease, we plan to treat it using the quorum sensing technique. The quorum sensing is a technique where environment-dependent gene regulation happens by cell-to-cell communication. And the Staphylococcus aureus uses this technique to sense the bacterial density, respond to genetic adaptations, and regulate the expression of the virulence factor with the help of accessory gene regulator or the AGR system. And we plan to incorporate the two-component AGRC and AGRA system of Staphylococcus aureus into our genetic circuit in our chasis organism, so that our chasis can also sense the pathogens using the AIP quorum sensing molecules, and further kill the pathogens by releasing bacteriocin, which we also plan to clone into our genetic circuit. So finally, the pathogens are killed and our cow and the milk sample both are safe right now, thanks to all our GM. Now moving into the math modeling section of our project, here we will model the genetic circuit used and get useful information about quantification to detect the color, and also can roughly estimate in which concentration the GMO is needed to be administered for treatment. And along with that, we will develop a basic network-based epidemiological model to understand the spread of the disease and how we can control the spread. So we've reached to the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening us to the end. You can know more about our projects on our social media pages. Feel free to visit them.
Thank you, iCircle Clara. It's definitely a very new and interesting idea and approach to an issue that, you know, unless it was someone like your friend who's directly working with the cows and seeing these issues firsthand, might not be so aware of the importance. So my first question is, you know, you're using quorum sensing to help eliminate the antibiotic-resistant pathogens. Can you tell us more about how you're manipulating that system to provide protection against development or treatment of the disease?
Yeah, Shomiti, can you take that question, please?
We are actually the AGRC, AGRS two components as part of the Staphylococcus aureus are involved in sensing the AIP quorum sensing molecules that are released by the Staphylococcus aureus. So when the pathogens are present above a certain concentration, the AIP molecules are also present above a threshold concentration, which are then sensed by the AGRC system, and it switches on, and then the AGRC, AGRA then can sense it. So we are planning to incorporate that component into our genetic circuit, so that our chasis organism can also sense the AIP molecules. And after down that line, we are planning to incorporate the bacteriocin molecule, a bacteriocin gene, the lysine A, which will be released further when the pathogens are sensed, and the bacteriocin will then further kill the pathogen. So that is basically the framework.
So your team also mentioned in the presentation that this would have such a tremendous economical impact because when the cows have the clinical mastitis, it results in modified or less than quality milk products. So has your team reached out or researched what it might look like for farmers in your local regions to integrate this sort of synthetic biology practice to help the cows both in diagnostics and treatment?
Yeah, I think that was the initial reason why we started out with this project, was because India, though it produces the largest amount of milk and consumes the largest amount of milk, cooperative milk production forms a very small part of the country. So you might have heard about Amul being one of the largest milk producers. Part of the country produces, it's less than 15% of the milk produced. 85% of the milk is actually produced by standalone farmers who have absolutely no clue of what to do once their cattle is infected with various diseases. So the first route they take is to pump their cow full of antibiotics. So whatever be the disease, your first step is always to pump it full of antibiotics. And in the end, they end up, you know, kind of harming the cow and increasing the strength of the bacteria, driving them to be antimicrobial resistant more than doing any good. So this was actually the main reason why we started out on this project, that at least we'll be able to have a viable real-time detector that can be used in a herd, so that we'd be able to find out which cow specifically has subclinical bovine mastitis in real time, and deploy the medicine, or bacteriocin, or whatever the the pathway that we intend to take for killing the microorganism in a much more organized fashion, rather than just employing the antibiotic mode of approach.
And can you tell us more about your proof of concept design? You mentioned that you were using mathematical modeling to predict your project's outcome. Can you tell us more about any other initiatives for your proof of concept that your team is taking as well?
Yeah, so like for the genetic circuit modeling part, what we are doing is we are measuring the output of the protein, like how much protein in what quantity it will be produced. Okay. For the second part where we are killing the bacteria. And so by that amount, if we measure that, we can get a rough estimate of the amount, how much of GMO we need to pump into the cow so that it kills all the present S. aureus strain in the cow. So that way we will help to integrate that math modeling part. And for the first part, what we are doing is like we are detecting by a colorimetric detection. So there will be again a concentration thing. So by our genetic circuit modeling, we will get to know about the how much color will be produced given that what concentration of miRNA is present in our system. Okay. So by that we can make a like gradient based thing. So after a certain amount of concentration, we can say that this cow is like bovine mastitis positive, and this is not that much concentration is present, so it is not the positive thing. So for that we will able to tell that like if a cow is bovine mastitis positive or not. And for the network based modeling, what we are planning to do, so you must have heard that this disease is getting spread by the hand of the milkers and like milking apparatus. So you can think them as a network. So like both the cows are connected. If they are milked by a same milkman, so they are like connected. So in the epidemiological network based modeling, we are considering them connected with a node and like measuring the probability of the transmission of the disease from one cow to the other. So in this model, what we can do is like, if we get to know what is the transmission probability and like in which concentration it is like getting spread through the network, so we can suggest techniques like removing of the infected cows. And like in the network, if you see some nodes are more connected than the others, so that is the hub of the spread. So from them, the spread will be much more drastic than any other single node. So we can suggest removing that hub and also make prediction about how to do a non-pharmaceutical intervention of controlling the diseases.
There's also something that I would like to add on to what Sharon said. The first part of our project that aims in detecting microRNA concentration, we are planning to use CRISPR for that. So, and we've devised a very novel real-time method for detection of the microRNA residues. And it's not that we can just use this device for the detection of bovine mastitis. We'd be able to use it for the detection of any disease that has RNA biomarkers. And it can be tweaked and kind of improvised on to basically work for any disease that has specific microRNA markers, which is more or less every disease. So it's kind of like a holistic thing that we try to develop.
Well, Isaac Kolkata, thank you so much for meeting with me today and giving us an inside look into your project. I definitely think this will have a tremendous impact, especially in the Indian milk industry, as it is a growing issue and quite an economical one, as well as a public health concern as well. So I definitely think it will have a tremendous impact on a lot of communities, especially regional farmers. So thank you once again for meeting with me, and best of luck in the 2021 iGEM Jamboree, and best of luck in our 2021 iGEM sponsorship competition. Thanks again for meeting with me.
Thank you. Thank you for scheduling this meeting with us. It was a pleasure talking to you.